Raider Nation, man, it's 53-man roster day. I'm Raider Dave. I'm back on my channel. I've been lazy. I haven't been putting out content, but I've been preparing for podcasts like every day as if I was still doing a podcast. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Like every day, like I have prepared notes and like all this fun stuff. Today I don't. Today I have a blog though. That's what I got. I got it raidersnewsletter.blogspot.com. Fired that off in 2019. And wrote the first one today, man, for you guys. And we're going to go through this thing like pretty much every day. Going to have a blog. And the reason why I wanted to do a blog is because you can update them throughout time. And it's always good to go back a few years and look up something that maybe you said or wrote. I think it's better that you write it. And I think it's better that you go back and reflect on it at times because, like I said, it could be fun stuff. Like, for instance, I'll give you my thoughts throughout the offseason with Josh Jacobs and the contract. I was never worried about Josh Jacobs not signing the franchise tag. For one reason, they picked up the fifth-year option. I don't think that was a bad thing. They put Josh Jacobs in a contract year. They got one of the best performances out of Josh Jacobs in his career. 2,000 all-purpose yards, we can say. So, and he won a couple big games. So it was just a great, great year for Josh Jacobs. And so if they picked up that fifth-year option, I believe he'd get $8 million. So he's got $12 million. He's got $4 million more, and he's in another contract year this year. He's playing in another contract. So I think this is a great situation for Josh Jacobs. I think it's a great situation for the Raiders. But as far as what was going on in my mind, remember when Tim Brown got tagged by the Broncos? Or not tagged, but he got the offer sheet. Back then in the franchise tag, I think another team could sign you to an offer sheet, and then the other team they could either tag you or they could match the offer sheet. I don't recall exactly how that worked out, but I want to say it was like 96, maybe 9. Yeah, it was like 96. And this is where you become, whether you're a Raider fan or you're a player fan. And one thing I learned with Tim Brown, especially when Tim Brown retired, because I'm a huge Tim Brown fan, and I was as a kid growing up. Tim Brown was my favorite player for the Raiders. And I learned that I'm a Raider fan. Like, I'm not a Tim Brown. I'm a Tim Brown fan, but the Raiders first. And so that's what, if I was going to do a podcast or do anything on YouTube to maybe mentor younger fans or anything like that, and I do say mentor because some of you need that, dude. Some of you guys need that. You need to understand what this is. This is fandom. This is being a fanatic. It's really not fandom it's fanatic. Fan stands for fanatic, dude. You're a fanatic, and that means you are biased towards your team. You support your team, man. And I'm not saying support them with no logic. Yes, have some logic, have some criticism, but don't be so extreme. Holy crap. I go on Facebook, I read a comment, everything's McDummy. This guy coaches in the NFL. This guy has Super Bowl rings. Cut that shit out. You know what I mean? I support this guy. I support Josh McDaniels. I support Dave Ziegler. I support Jimmy Garoppolo. And I support Aiden O'Connell. And I support our entire draft class. I support the 53-man roster. I support the practice squad. I support the front office. And I want to win AFC West titles, and I want to win Super Bowls. So, and I think every year, every team starts out 0-0. Why can't people be optimistic and understand that right now the race hasn't even started? And the offseason, you're just preparing for the race. That's all you're doing. So why do we criticize our team so much on these social media platforms? Is it negative attention sells and makes money? What is it, man? But this is how I'm going to lay out my show to start it out, because basically what I'm going to do, I'm not just going to put my words on the internet through my voice. I'm going to put them on paper, and I'm willing to back it up. I'm not going to be right all the time. I'm going to be wrong. But you know what? I'm going to support my team, man. And I'm pumped this year, man. I got 3 games I'm going to. I'm going to all 3 AFC West games. I'm super stoked. I've never been to SoFi Stadium. I've never been to Allegiant Stadium. I've been 50 Raider games between Oakland and Qualcomm Stadium and the Coliseum throughout my lifetime. I never was a season ticket holder. However, man, I'm pumped this year, dude. I'm going to see the Raiders play the Chiefs. I don't care if there's freaking 75% Chiefs fans. I'll be in their ear. I will be in their ear, dude. And they won't like sitting next to me. But maybe they will. Maybe we'll be cool. Who knows? Because you know what? I talk football. So if the Chiefs have a good play, I'll be complimentary. But at the same time, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be loud for my team. So my whole point being, by the way, I got good seats for good deals. So Silver and Black Pride put out, in my personal opinion, what's false information that tickets are going up. They're not going up. They're not. My buddy got Raider Charger tickets over the Chargers tunnel, and we're Raider fans, by the way. He's a Raider fan. He's not a Charger fan. But he got it over the Chargers tunnel. It was the best deal, $38, dude, through StubHub. Just, you got to find the deals, man, and they're there. It's crazy. We used to get those tickets back in 1997, dude. $28. We would go to the stadium for $28, and like I think Ticketmaster was like a $3 charge, and then next thing you know, dude, you're at the game. Back, guess what though? Different times though. Minimum wage was $4.25 back then. Minimum wage here in California is $15.50 here. Crazy, huh? Crazy. There are ways to hedge inflation. So, and my heart goes out to anybody that's struggling with this inflation. This inflation will not stop. It's here to take you out. So get ready for it. Hedge it, beat it, win, just win, baby. You know what I mean? So anyway, I apologize for my rant. I haven't been talking for a while, but I am pumped up. Where am I at? The 5-minute mark? I'm at the 5-minute mark right now. So anyway, I'll digress on that, and let's get into today's blog. We're talking about Dave Ziegler, what he's done in 18 months. In this, I'm only specifying on 3 players. It's 3 of our draft picks: Aiden O'Connell, Trey Tucker, and Tyree Wilson. Of course, many more across the board. Chris Smith, one of my favorite safeties in the draft. I'm so happy they drafted him. I wish he would have made it to my mock. I bought into what analysts were saying about him, and he was a 5th-round value. But man, I watched that guy at Georgia. He's a good safety. I'm thrilled that we got him. I think we got a level-headed veteran type rookie safety, man. I think that dude's going to be stepping in before you know it at times. I also think Trayvon Merritt could have a huge bounce-back year. Looking for that. I really want to see him thrive in this defense. I think the defense definitely can improve. So aside from all that, but the key reason I talked about 3 players is because these are the players that can make an immediate impact. And you see Aiden O'Connell. He's probably going to be the number 2. It looks like Brian Hoyer has not been cut yet, so Aiden O'Connell will be the number 2. But I would assume. But then, going on to Trey Tucker, one thing I want to point out with Trey Tucker is his average yards per catch, dude. I think it was like 5 catches for like 90-something yards. It averaged out to about 18 yards a catch. That's what we want from him. He hit the number right on the head. That's what I always look for in a big play wide receiver, a guy that's going to get you 4 catches a game, maybe 3 catches a game. But they're going to be key catches, dude, and they're going to be key yardage, man. And if he holds an average of like anywhere from 14 to 18 yards a catch per game, I think Trey Tucker becomes a valuable asset if he if he can achieve a stat like that. When you have wide receivers like Devontae Adams, and then you got Jacoby Myers there, you got Hunter Renfrow. When you have and then you have, we have the, one draft pick, which I didn't mention, which is Michael Mayer. We know he was the best tight end in the draft. Dalton Kincaid, in my personal opinion, was a little overrated. He's flashy, he's good, but Michael Mayer is the real deal all-around tight end. He was the number 1 tight end. I had him pegged to the Bengals. I thought he would have been a great fit with them, but the fact that he fell to us and we were able to trade up to get him, huge, dude. So Michael Mayer is going to be a big part of it. Austin Hooper's a great contributor. I'm pretty sure he made the team, but Austin Hooper, he's a go-to. He's fantasy football worthy most of the time in fantasy leagues. So Austin Hooper can be a great contribution, veteran, complimentary veteran. But anyway, Trey Tucker, getting that average of anywhere from 14 to 18 yards per catch, 3 catches a game, and I think that helps us win games. Then you have Jimmy Garoppolo in the red zone. Hopefully he stays with the efficiency, the inside the 10-yard line efficiency, which gets better. It's crazy how his red zone numbers get better in the closer they get to the goal line. That's because he has no arm, but his passes are much crisp, much sharper in those tight windows in that short area of field. That's the hardest place to win on the field, is in the short area of the field. So I'm really intrigued and curious how Jimmy Garoppolo is going to do this in the Raider offense. So I'm really, really curious come week 1, man. And feel free, drop your thoughts in the comments on that. And then moving on to Tyree Wilson. So Tyree Wilson, he's a top 3 candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and for many reasons correct. I mean, so I guess he got some criticism last week for the preseason. Where are we at? Are we for real, dude? We're gonna this is a preseason game. It's a different speed in preseason, man. I mean, Tyree Wilson's gonna be lined up all over the field, so they're probably throwing him all over the place and seeing what he can do, and everything probably looked horrible and unorganized. I missed the game, by the way, on Saturday night. I worked. But anyway, so my point being is that, I'm not buying into that. And not only that, but a week 3 preseason game is unworthy for me. I just didn't need to see it. I didn't need to see it. There was nothing there for me to see. Those guys, I mean, by that time, these guys just don't want to get hurt, man. And by that time, Josh Jacobs is going to sign. Of course, people bought into crazy-ass tweets and what I posted on Instagram and all that. But, all right, so let me see here. I thought there used to be a pause button on here, so I have to keep, I guess I'm going to have to stop recording. I got to take a deep breath real quick. Hold up. So back to my Tyree Wilson point is the fact that he can be Defensive Player of the Year for many reasons. And by the way, Neil Farrell trade that went down today. I'll say solid trade. I'm not going to say good trade. They got good value in return because he was drafted in the 4th round, played a few games for them last year. But, once again, maybe they saw something they didn't like and maybe they were close to cutting him. I'm not sure about that. Some were saying, well, if they were going to cut him and then they traded him, I don't think it's that. I think it has a lot to do with Chris Jones not suiting up by week 1. And I think the Neil Farrell trade indicates that Chris Jones, and it could get real bad for the Chiefs. Chris Jones could be, I think he could be on the shelf possibly till week 8. That could help the Raiders, man. We're trying to win. We're trying to win the division. We should always have the mindset of winning the division. No matter how bad you think this team's going to be, always have that mindset. Win the damn division, dude. You win the AFC West. And not only do you get a West title, you get a home game in front of your fans. You get better odds to win at home. I know we're not, we don't have the greatest home crowd right now in Vegas. I'm going to do my best. But the crazy thing is that, you want that. I don't know why fans argue that with me. Like, what do you mean, Dave? You want to win the West? I just want to win a Super Bowl. I'm like thinking, okay, you want to win a Super Bowl. I want to win the West. But first you got to win the West. Then you got to win the conference. Then you're at the dance, and then you get a chance to win the Super Bowl, man. So, anyway, I know I'm rambling. I'm just jumping back on here, getting the voice warmed up, getting the green screen warmed up, getting everything warmed up, the writing skills, everything in place, so we can have a great conversation, dude. And you can get a little bit of a different perspective, man, because I'm not here for clout. I'm not here to get a super chat. I'm not here for any of that. I have 5 websites built for things that I want to make money off of. Here I want to talk Raider football. And just going back to the offseason, man, they did listen, or they at least knew what they needed to do, and they drafted defense number 7th overall. So we have a strong defensive rookie of the year candidate. I'm stoked about that. And you never know. What if it's Jacorian Bennett, man? What if he just climbs the charts, dude? And what if that guy just by week 8 is the man? You just never know. I would love to see us have. That would be actually really special for our defense, is to have a guy, or at least have 2 players in contention for Defensive Rookie of the Year out of 1 draft. That would be great. That would be great. But if you made it this far in the video, man, I really appreciate you. Definitely sub up. Stick around, man. I know I'm going to bring content that's a little bit different, maybe a little bit more, I guess it's just more optimism, and some people don't like that, I guess, but it's okay with me. But if you did make it this far, type AFC West champs, Raiders AFC West champs in the chat, and that way I know who's rolling, dude, because I'm rolling to 3 games this year, and we're rolling for a title, dude. I don't just go to games just for fun. I go to games, man, because I want to win titles, I want to witness history, and I want to be a part of the fun, dude, because it is an exciting time when the Raiders play good football, when the Raiders win football games, when the Raiders were chasing the 4th Lombardi Trophy, when Al Davis was alive in 2002. That was a great time. I was going to a lot of Raider games throughout that time. It was just a different vibe. We had a different edge to us, and I want our fans to get that back, man. So I'm hoping for the best, man, in 2023. I'm Raider Dave. This is GrimeCast Media, and I thank you very much for checking this podcast out. I'm out. Peace.